I had to put my hair back in a ponytail because it was much too much. It was all over the place. So ignore my edges. Focus on the little smoky with the eye, false lashes, brows real clean, and like a nice muted lip.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is start off by doing your brows. I was using the Benefit Brow in the shade 4.5, I believe. It comes with like this cute little brush. It's actually the mini set that I got, and I just wanted to try it out. It's not necessarily the like horrible or anything like that. It's actually pretty good for something quick. Not all the pieces come together. I typically use like a cream or gel base, like the Anastasia, like brow pomade, like that stuff. I love that formula. Love it. This is something I was trying that was new. So I just filled in my brows, got my tail all nice and full, and then proceeding here, going in with concealer, cleaning those up, making sure they're nice and crisp, making sure there's no hair out of place, because I did not, do my eyebrows prior to this. So covering up any hairs, covering up any unsightlies that I don't want you guys to see. I typically take my finger and blend it out after I put it on with the brush just because I don't like a super, super harsh line up underneath my brow. I prefer something that looks a little softer, especially for this look that I'm going for. It's not necessarily super harsh like anywhere. So blend that out with your finger. I use my ring finger. That's where it gives you the most control. And you just blend to your liking. So I went in with that. After I got done with the eyebrows, went in with the concealer all over my lid and just made sure that was nice and even. I have discoloration all over my lid. Pat that down, blend it in. And I also went in with some powder, like a translucent powder to set it. So that way when I put my powder down, there's no creasing, there's no smudging, there's none of that. Then I went in with my Morphe 35 N palette. And this palette is really nice. It has a lot of fall transition colors. I was using like a nice light brown for my transition shade. That's a Sigma E40 brush. I'm just going back and forth in the crease to give it a nice gradient effect. Like it's not too harsh in the crease, which I kind of like. It's not too dark for it. So just going back and forth in the palette, starting off with that color, and then I transition to like a darker color for my outer V. It's a brown, but it's a darker brown than what I used in my crease. So it's not necessarily super, super noticeable, but like the lighter you go with the transition, the nicer the smoky effect looks, if that makes any sense. So instead of starting off super harsh, you can go just a little lighter and then like gradually work your way up. So going in with that second color on the outer V, it's slightly darker than the transition shade that I used in my crease. That's a fluffy brush I got from, I want to say Sephora. I cannot remember the name of it and I will look it up, but don't you worry. But yeah, it's like another fluffy brush that I use for that color. And I just get it to my liking. I keep going back into the palette and getting it a little darker with each, time I go back in there, going back and forth, staying concentrated in that one area. I don't want this all over my lid because I am going to go lighter towards my inner corner. And we just keep going back and forth, blending that out, making it look nice and spiffy, sprucing it up just a little. And you're going, keep going. This is the hardest part about makeup to me, blending. Blending, blending, blending. It's very important. So going back in with another brush after the second shade, I'm going to go a little darker in the crease, just, well, not crease, the outer V, just a little bit because I'm going to go lighter on the inner corner and I want it to look really, really smoky on the outer edge there. And if you're wondering why my eyeshadow is going so far out, it's because I have really tiny eyes. My eyes aren't big. I don't have a lot of space between my lid and my eyebrow. So as a little trick for myself to make it look like I have bigger eyes, I fan it out a little bit more. So I'm going in with the darker color in the outer corner, blending, blending, going back and forth between the palette, taking that original Sigma brush and blending out those edges and just cleaning it up a little bit, making it a little bit more gradient because we don't want something super harsh. That's not the look I was going for, just super light, smoky. And then we go to foundation. I'm using the Fit Me foundation in the color 330, I believe. I will definitely double check that. And I'm just putting this all over my face with my finger because it does not come with a pump or any kind of brush or anything like that. I'm taking a Makeup Geek buffering brush, stippling brush, and I'm going to just buff that all over my face, get that all in the forehead area, cheeks, mouth, down the neckline because we don't want to look like we're wearing a mask, in the inner corners of the eyes. Don't want to forget those either. We don't want that to be a different color. Basically, you're using foundation as a base to make sure your face is all the same color everywhere. And then after the foundation, we are going to go in with some NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Caramel. Yes, in the shade Caramel. And we're going to put that typical places we want highlighted: underneath your eye, bridge of your nose, Cupid's bow, chin. I do not go super crazy on the forehead because it's already huge. I'm not trying to bring attention to that area. So I mostly focus it like underneath the eyes, the nose, and down my face. I don't go up. I'm going down. So after you do that, I use the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Espresso for contour in the hollows of the cheeks. Right on my jawline, I put that, and then also on my forehead. I used the wet beauty blender to blend out the concealer under my eye. And then I also went in with the bottom part, like the fat part of the beauty blender, to blend out the concealer on my cheeks and my jawline. So that way it can be nice and even. And yeah, I like using a beauty blender for like the contour and highlight when I use concealer. It seems like it blends out a little bit better. And then after you go in with your blending, and it seems like I'm blending for like, I don't know, 20 minutes here. I'm talking an awful lot and I don't know why. So still blending, still going strong. And yeah, forehead is very light. Hollows of the cheeks, get those a little better because we want to make sure that's nice and chiseled, nice and defined. Jawline is nice and defined. After you're done with that, you're going to take some of that lovely translucent powder. I mix two of them together because I find when I use like one shade that's like banana or like supposed to be quote unquote translucent, I look like a ghost when I wipe off the powder. Like it's super light. So I mix together the Laura Mercier standard like regular powder, and then I put in some Ben Nye Topaz powder. It's like their darker version of their banana powder, and I mix those two together so I don't look like a ghost. Put that, on your highlighted areas, underneath the eye, bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, on the chin. Cannot forget the chin. And I also put it on like my jawline as well, just because sometimes when I do find that I blend out or put the contour right there, it just makes my face look even bigger. So I'm highlighting right there as well with the powder, but I will dust it off and mix that with a little bit. No, my powder brush. That's what I'm looking for. So actually, no, I lied. Not my powder brush. I'm going in right here with some Bahama Mama contour, like a bronzer, to go ahead and set that contour that I did for my cheeks. And then I go in with my powder brush and I wipe off all of the translucent powder with that. And I typically flatten my brush in my hand because I find when I use like the handle, it doesn't get all the powder off. And I don't want to walk around looking crazy. So I get as much powder off as I absolutely can. Anything that's left over under the eye, I don't typically freak out about, especially if I'm going to smoke out like the lash line or anything like that, so it doesn't look as crazy. But if you're going to use like a setting spray, it also like helps with looking like powdery. So if you're scared to highlight because of that look, don't be, because once you actually go in with, some more steps, it will look better. You can't just get scared in the middle. So once you keep going with that, you're going to go and smoke out the lash line just a little. I had to stop that real quick. I'm going to go in and get my false eyelashes on. And honestly, this part I wasn't even supposed to do yet. I was supposed to go ahead and put like my little shimmer or my glitter on my inner corner. But I was so thirsty to record this video that I completely skipped it. So please don't mind me. So going in with some eyeliner after I put on my mascara. And I'm just weighing that out just a little bit. Nothing special, nothing really fancy. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and put on some false eyelashes. And I believe the ones that I used were from, let me look real quick. They are Wispy Lashes. Yes, they are Wispy Lashes from Ardell. You can find them at any drugstore, any Walmart, Target, anywhere, honestly. And I use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and believe it or not, it is better than sex. I have very small eyelashes, and it helps tremendously, especially with putting on falsies, because it helps them just stick and look a little natural when you have like natural looking lashes up underneath there. So that does help. And I'm just using some duo glue to stick those eyelashes on. I use the kind in the white tube with the stick. I do not use anything I have to squeeze out of a tube. I use like the actual stick I have to paint it on with. And some tweezers, and go in and just put those on your lashes, squeeze them together, make them nice and secure. You want to make sure that they're on, no lifting. We don't want any lifting ever. So squeeze with the tweezers on the inner corner, use your fingers on the outer. You can take and use your fingers all over, whatever works, but just make sure that you squeeze those babies together. Then after that, you want to take your time and make sure those are dry. You don't want those lifting. And you're going to go in with a little bit of MAC eyeliner on the waterline, because I am going to smoke that out a little bit more right after this. And just make sure everything looks nice and smoky up underneath the lash line. And just, keep it going, keep it moving. So then we go in with a little more color underneath there to give it a little bit more of a dramatic effect. Like the eye wasn't super, super smoky, but it honestly pulls it together when you have your top and your bottom similar. Like it makes it look like it's like a super fancy look, and it's not. So smoked that out, and then I went in with the shimmer afterwards, and I was using the Naked 2 palette, the YDK color. That's one of my favorite shimmer colors. It's like super, super, like the formula is really smooth. Like I like to use that one typically if I'm not looking for super drama, like just a little bit of glitter, because that doesn't fall all over the place. Like I cannot stand when I open up an eyeshadow and it's metallic or shiny or whatever, and it's all over the place. So I didn't mind using that after the fact. That's why I picked that color to do it. And as you see, there's no fallout on the lashes. It's staying in place, so I didn't feel that was a bad step. But typically, you want to put that on before you do your lashes and your eyeliner. Don't be like me. So after that, went ahead and went in with some blush. That is the Raisin Blush by MAC. It's a really pretty fall color. It brings the nice, warm, plummy, purpley color to the face. It's not overbearing, because sometimes you put on blush and you're like, what the hell did I just do to my face? That is one of my favorite colors right there. It's very, very fall-y. And going in with some lip liner. This is a NYX lip liner. I cannot remember the color. It's so damn small. I can barely see the writing on it anymore. But I've been using it forever. As you can see, it's very small. I've used it all up. And then I'm going in with my MAC Honey Love. I wanted a nice muted lip because I wanted the attention to be on the eyes. It's not a super dramatic look, so I didn't want a super dramatic lip, especially if that was going to overshadow what was on my eyes. So just a nice little brown eye or lip liner and a nice little nude lipstick to go with that. And just went in with the lip liner again to reline and make sure my lips were nice and defined. Then I went in with my highlighter. This is the best part. The best part. I like my face to look like, I want it to look as shiny as possible. I don't want to look like I want you to know I have on highlighter. Like if the light hits me, I need you to understand like it's highlighted. So go in with the cheeks, the nose, and I do double up on my highlighters. The first one was actually an eyeshadow from e.l.f. I can't remember the name of it, and I've had it for so long it's actually rubbed off on the packaging. But yeah, that was like $1 from e.l.f. And it's like this really pretty gold color. And the second one I want to say I got it from Target. It was like a bronzer blush highlight type duo, but I only used the gold in there. And I put that on my brow bone, and it makes it look like, boom, Like that's the look I'm going for. Like I don't care if my I don't care if I have on no makeup. I will have on highlighter. Went in and set my brows with some clear brow gel. Flick up in the front so it looks like your natural hair, and then you go follow the rest of the brows. And then after that, you are done. You set your makeup and it's not going to move for the rest of the day. I typically put on a gloss